It's time for Milberger's Gardening South Texas, live from Milberger's Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. During the next 2 hours, our experts will help you with your gardening questions when you call 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. Or come by Milberger's during the show and have your question answered in person. And now it's time for Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
And welcome to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Dr. Calvin Finch, Mark Peterson, me, Milton Glueck, on the porch on a gorgeous day here at Milberger's at 1604 in Bulverde Road. And it's funny. So yesterday was so nice, right? Yesterday was really pretty, like today. And, you know, doing this show enough, I just said to myself, Self, I said, it's going to be, all those gardening hormones are going to kick in, and people are going to be coming out here tomorrow to the nursery. Yep, there's lots of folks here.
I think most of them are over there giving blood.
Many of them are giving blood. Going to the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center. They're here till 3, so you can come on out and donate blood. You get a $10 gift certificate just for going through the process, and I say that because if you get rejected, that's okay. They'll still give you their gift certificate. But, yep, so come on out.
It's less likely you'll get rejected because they liberalize the process.
Yeah, and blood is in short supply. It's, again, another situation where it's after the holidays. People were out of school. They were vacationing. So it is in demand now. So, and your one donation can save as many as 3 lives. So come on out and donate blood. And 1604 on Bulverde Road, they'll take you almost right away. But it's a pretty day. You just sit out there and enjoy the weather if they can't take you right away. But they'll take you pretty quick. So
you could wander around and look at the plants.
Yeah, figure out how you're going to spend your $10 gift certificate. Yeah. All right. So 210-308-8867 is our number, 210-308-8867. How's it going, gentlemen? We got rain this week a little bit.
Yeah. I only got, according to the newspaper, we only got 0.2 of an inch at the airport.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
We didn't. Yeah, we're near the airport and didn't get much. It was misty and foggy, and then a couple times it rained, but not hard.
Yeah, I got 0.3 of an inch.
Really? How about you? Do you know how much you got?
Just the 0.2 or less. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't see my tub, didn't have much in it.
Hey, I pointed out to you.
What's that?
Just got to point it out and start the conversation. We got 2.5 tables of bluebonnets.
Yeah.
So it's quite impressive when you come into the nursery, you make a left-hand turn and you see these tables full.
Yeah.
Chock full of blueberry plants. So
No. Bluebonnet.
What did I say?
I think you said blueberry.
Blueberry, yeah.
Maybe I just have that in my mind.
There's a bunch of blueberry plants over there.
We talked about that. About I went through yesterday and looked at all the fruits. But, bluebonnets, Texas bluebonnets.
And
lots of other things happening. We've got...
let's talk about your thing because you're getting people to sign up.
Yeah, we got 14...
You're almost halfway there.
Oh, yeah, we got 14 people signed up for the Dream Hill Estates program on the 15th at 9:30 a.m., and, of course, everybody that attends will get a free potted-up rodeo tomato. And then the following, I was going to confirm this, but as of yesterday, we had 19 signed up for the 22nd.
Wow.
And they'll get the same. We'll hold the class here at 10 a.m. on the 22nd. And we'll discuss why you're potting up the tomatoes and what the advantages of rodeo tomatoes are and the varieties that are recommended. Mm-hmm. Plus, we'll talk about potatoes. We'll talk about Oscar okra. And I think I got enough seed from a donor that we'll be able to give everybody that wants some Oscar okra seed in. And then we'll also talk about the lettuce and the other vegetables that you can plant now.
Yeah.
I liked in the newspaper article, you basically said tomatoes, okra, and peppers didn't make it through the cold. And it was like, oh, they didn't make it. They were last on the Titanic, they went down.
It's always amazes me, though, that we're talking about, right now, we just lost our tomatoes. And, in fact, some of us that were having very good luck were still harvesting and probably didn't do a really great job of harvesting at the end because the season lasted so long. But here we are, 2 weeks later, we're talking about the new rodeo tomato designated, and it's you can pot it up so that you get this growth advantage and the varieties. And not only do we have the new rodeo tomato, that's the one we'll target, but we also, I think we'll have access.
We'll have a couple of 3 or 4.
I saw
maybe 4 or 5
celebrities and tycoon and red snappers and
today?
Red Deuce.
Did you see today?
Today?
Yeah.
Today?
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
In the greenhouse or where?
Greenhouse.
Okay, so you saw celebrity, tycoon,
red snapper.
Red Deuce and red snapper.
Okay.
HM.
1823.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how did my thing help you to remember that?
No, I just remember it's a U.S. history event. So.
Okay. Do you remember the one? What the new rodeo tomato is?
No.
We never
told.
told.
I'm sworn to secrecy. I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah. No one's told me.
It's another HM.
Yeah. Oh, your blueberries are on sale, by the way.
Oh, excellent.
Best selection of the year.
So we've had a couple of phone calls. What selections are listed there?
But do me a favor. Sorry, don't go anywhere.
I'm going to go.
So if folks want to register for your class, give the Dream Hill. I'll send it back to Al.
The Dream Hill number is 210 382 4455. That's over by Medical Center.
382-4455.
And if you want more information on where it's located, it's in the paper today. And also, if you call that number, we'll give you directions. And then of course, the Milberger program on the 22nd, you call Milberger's to reserve a spot.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got room for... I think we could handle 35 in each of those classes in terms of the free rodeo tomato potted up plant. And if more people want to come, they can come and participate in the lecture and discussion. But we'll have a limited number of the free tomatoes.
Yeah, and it looks like
that number is
210-497-3760. And it's if you know the number to call in for a question, which I'll give in a minute, Al has these numbers for both of them back at the station. So that number is 210-308-8867. You can call with your questions. Tell us how your plants did through the freeze, should they. But Al could tell you the number, and he has the dates too.
Well, and we've got the article today, in addition to telling you about how to attend the tomato class, also talks about the freeze damage, and in the annual flowers, the winter flowers and the summer flowers, and the vegetable garden, and it's kind of an interesting discussion, and amazing how many of the flowers have done pretty well despite the freezing temperatures.
Oh, how are your whopper begonias doing?
My whoppers that were covered with just incidental to the cyclamen did fine.
Okay.
The ones that I did not cover, the tops are dead. I haven't seen any new action from the roots. But some of them will sprout. I'm sure they always do. And then the other thing was the primulas. Every one of the primulas, I didn't cover any of them, and every one of them made it through the freeze. It just verifies that Trace and I have been kind of following them for a number of years and comparing them to the cyclamen, and just verifies that they're much more cold tolerant than the cyclamen.
That's good. The Whoppers, we moved everything, I think, based on Mark's criticism of me. Mean, vicious criticism. You remember that?
I called insightful.
So Sunday.
Resentful? Is that the same as resentful?
Insightful.
So when I got home from the show, Sunday was kind of warm, and that was the first day that was like everything was over 40 in the evenings. I better see what the weather's going to be this week. But
be over 40s.
Yeah, so we moved everything out, all the little container plants and stuff, and they look happy as can be. Got to keep watering them, I guess. What's with that? But I'll tell you also what looks good is the Crawford reseeding lettuce transplant.
Do they?
Yeah.
Are they a beautiful lime green?
Yes, they are, and they're
so plump.
Yeah.
You almost want to pull leaves off.
I planted them in 4 different containers spread all through my landscape.
That's cool.
To get them reseeded, an opportunity for reseeding at the various gardens.
The whole landscape.
Wow, look at these temperatures. The high today is 75.
Monday's going to be 80. Is that right?
Sunday is 78. Monday's 81. Tuesday's 82. Wednesday's 81. Wow. And then do I see any rain?
No.
No, I see no rain.
No, there'll be no more rain until next September.
According to the weather.gov, there is no high below 75 through Friday, and no low. Is tonight the lowest low? Yep, looks that way at 47. Wow, that's amazing. Welcome to February.
No,
that's right.
no. It just means the weather is setting us up.
Yes, I'm not going to disagree with you.
So maybe the second or third week, probably the third week in February.
Boom.
It's going to be down in the 20s again.
Yeah. Okay, that's Mark's prediction.
Saying.
He's
saying.
such a joy to be with, isn't he?
Well, except I've been here long enough, too, to know that he may not be wrong. Because as soon as you get comfortable with San Antonio weather and go, okay, yeah, spring came a little early. This is great.
Well, and
boom.
Traditionally, our last freeze is the third week in February.
Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, some third, fourth, or even the first week of March.
I sort of remember March 15th for some reason. But
Yeah. I think it's been moving a little closer to the first part of the first week.
That's one of the reasons why we pot up tomatoes now rather than put them in directly into the garden.
Because of that last freeze.
Yeah.
Very smart, yep.
The soil temperature is low, and also the air temperature, but they are susceptible to those traditional freezes that we have. Whereas if you got them in a nice 1-gallon pot, fertilized, and in the sun, that you can pick them up and get them inside if the temperature is going to get below 40.
And I think because we've been preaching this for the last couple of years, if there's an interruption of the growth, that really sets them back. So we want to make sure that it's gradually getting warmer and warmer and warmer or away from that. Because if there's a freeze or wind and they're set back, it takes them a long time.
That's right. You may as well just wait and plant them after April 1st if you're not going to pot them up and not going to protect them from cold weather.
Is there any chance that they would outgrow the 1 gallon before you were ready to plant them? Oh, she gave blood.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, you think they could?
Theoretically, it's possible.
Okay,
but
in theory.
But I don't. It's not likely.
Okay, I didn't think it was likely.
No. Because we're only talking about a month here.
So are you a subscriber to the I'm going to take it, I'm going to pot it up. So I'm going to dig a hole. I'm going to dig a hole that's like twice as deep as the container, because I'm going to take off the little leaves on just the bottom leaves and things, because I'm going to pot it deeper than the container.
Why?
That's in. No, I'm asking if you subscribe to that.
Oh.
Isn't that a practice?
Well, it's a practice if you've got plants that have outgrown and they're kind of scraggly, or they got long stems. But there's really no
reason.
As far as I can see, is why would you do that if they're in growth mode, looking good, and they've got solid. The stems and leaves are the right size, and they're. It's just an exercise. Doesn't always hurt them, but
right.
Not really an advantage in most cases.
I got a funny feeling.
Yeah.
That's from areas which can grow indeterminate in ones. I got that just because that's something that I learned way back in the last millennia. That
Isn't that funny?
Tomato plants can withstand being planted deep.
Because they root out.
So Calvin's right. It won't hurt them. However, does it help them? I don't know, but I got a funny feeling. That's from places where they can go. That advice is places where they grow indeterminate.
Well, that's a good point Mark makes, because one of the reasons that we are doing this potting up is that we're using determinate tomatoes. The idea is that they get to full vegetative size quickly, concentrate on doing the fruit so that we can actually harvest our fruit and pull these plants in the end of June or early July, and then we're ready for our second crop. So, we have short crops, and the way you accommodate that, short seasons, is that we use determinate plants and we replant them a couple times.
I'm just asking now, if you were a gambling man, and I know you're not, are you a gambling man?
Not anymore.
Okay.
I've lost all my money.
Oh dear, I'm sorry, Calvin. I'm sorry to bring it up. I forgot. Would you be willing to bet that somebody, I'll bet 50 cents. No, I don't think I can bet on the air, can I?
No.
Okay. But yeah, that somebody might call in and disagree with you on planting them deeper than the thing. Because I know we've had people who've done that.
Well,
they get the roots. They like that. They get a stronger tomato, they say.
Yeah. Now, and of course, we would argue, when you're talking about a short season tomato, what is the advantage of having a stronger root system?
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you disagree, you can call us at 210-308-8867.
You don't have to aggravate them now.
I'm aggravating them. Yeah. If you're upset by this and you want to defend your tomato system.
But Mark is right, is that, in an area where you have one season, generally longer than we have here, and you're not faced with both heat and cold. That there are sometimes some advantages to planting plants deeper.
Why do I even think that I've seen? Okay, so the plant videos have found me on the internet, and so I'm seeing lots of things like on Facebook and other things where it's like these reels. I think I've even seen people plant them on the sideways,
so that they're
parallel to the ground,
and then they'd grow up.
Yeah,
because they're apical.
Yeah, but that's also not necessarily necessary.
It depends on if you're after growing
again
a large crop, tomatoes fast. There's really no advantage to doing that.
There's a lot of these videos and especially vegetable fruit.
Mm-hmm.
They're produced in the Midwest, Northeast. And again, I think that's why I said that earlier. Is I think that these are places that are growing indeterminate, and then wives' tales. I shouldn't say wives' tales, but common threads of a common thought, which may not be supported by scientific research.
Well, okay. All right.
They may be given those.
Boy, now he may be aggravating him with that.
Well, we don't. I think both Mark and I don't discourage people from doing practices that they've gotten used to and they've had success with.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you're upset by this and you're fuming, you can call us and tell us about the success you've had doing it the different way. You could beta test it. Maybe I should beta test it.
And if you've gone to UT, I'm sure there's some of you that have are inclined to plant them upside down.
Would that work?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I was ready.
Actually, they probably wouldn't die even if you did that.
Yeah, tomatoes seem to be pretty
if
strong.
you planted the roots and the top.
Well, there was
Mm-hmm.
how do I want to say it? A fad of these upside down, topsy turvy tomatoes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Remember those?
Yeah, I do.
And
did you do one?
No, because I saw no purpose in it.
No, okay. It just looked cool. So if you topsy-turvied, you can call us too.
Yeah. Yes, please.
210-308.
I'd like to know how it all worked out.
8867. I think I heard people topsy-turvying successfully with the cherry tomatoes, like the 968s and stuff like that. All right, I'm being told it's break time.
We have Ruby Crush.
Ooh, that'd be
yeah, let's talk about that. If you really want to get mad, let's talk about the lack of cherry tomatoes.
All right, we'll talk about that in a minute on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. And welcome back to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Well, apparently we have made nobody mad. Everybody agrees with Calvin and Mark that that's the way you're supposed to do tomatoes. The way y'all recommend. Not the other ways that I've heard of.
But of course.
What's that?
But of course, we are the experts.
Hey, speaking of experts, the folks over at Pruski's Market in Atkins, Texas, are the experts at great tasting food. And not only that, too, this is what I love about it. If you remember the old-fashioned meat market where you went in and you got to talk to the butcher and you were asking questions, and or you wanted something custom done, and you're actually talking to somebody. It's not just rows and rows of food that you're picking up and hoping to find what you want. You can actually have it done. Pruski's Market right there in Atkins, Texas is the place to go. Pruski's has great tasting meats, like even natural beef as well, like the Yenta Ranches beef you'll find at Pruski's. That's the no antibiotics, no added growth hormones. Just absolutely great tasting meat. Outstanding sausage made right there on the premises at Pruski's. The Kosciuszko.
Now you got me doing it. Kosciuszko.
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 Which, and then the kielbasa, and he was talking about that. That's the garlic, the potato sausage. Got some games coming up, a big game coming up very soon.
Absolutely.
You can either just get a tray of delicious meats and cheeses that you can serve your guests, or pick up brisket and stuff from Pruski's, and just get the... sorry, I lost my train of thought there.
I don't know.
I keep hearing something in my right ear.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, you could just pick that up, or you can have, if you're going to do brisket, they can help you with what you need. Stew, you're going to do something. Whatever you're going to do, get the family together. Just make sure you're serving them delicious meat from Pruski's Market right there, 10140 Atkins, Texas. And the website is pruskismeatmarket.com, pruskismeatmarket.com. And, you'll be able to check them out. And
when is the big game? That's next week?
I think it's next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
Is it next Sunday? Yeah, I believe so.
So we have time. I don't know who to root for. I may just...
Who to support?
Who to support, yeah.
No.
You know, not necessarily like the Chiefs, but really don't like the Eagles. So I may just regrettably have to support Chiefs. It is historic making if they do win.
I had to turn your stuff. We could hear you talking on the phone. So, all right.
And we were laughing.
I always debate when we get a call from somebody who wants to reserve a spot,
Yeah.
should you?
No, that's okay, but you may want to.
I was just going to say,
Depending on
what
how
a
long it's
lovely
going to be, you
segue.
may want to kind of just walk away, or I'll turn the mic off and stuff. But anyway,
Lovely segue. Tell them about the what they're trying to reserve.
Well, he's going to call in because
good.
he had he liked the article, so on the freeze damage article, so he's going to call in and talk about it later. But anyhow, that's cool. Another person signed up for the class on the 15th.
I am planning to get some sausage.
Oh, good. Yeah, that'll be good.
Are you guys into the meat now still?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, I'm gonna make some dip, some of Mark's world famous dip, avocado guacamole dip.
Oh.
Several peppers.
I didn't know that you had a world famous guacamole.
Several peppers are involved. Cilantro, of course, because anybody who doesn't like cilantro is only 10% of the population. I don't have to worry about them.
There are people that eat cilantro and it tastes funny. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a genetic thing. We don't like to point that out, that they are abnormally genetic disposed.
All right. 210.
Let's just end it right there.
Okay, yeah, let's keep going. 210-308-8867. Speaking of cilantro, what did you see out there?
That's because we have some really unique items out there. Strawberries.
Can you remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. I'm strawberry. We have all that lovely fuzzy stuff out there, and I'm going to make a point of what that was. And all of a sudden, I go, what was that again? It may look like dill, but it's not. It's asparagus.
Oh, how interesting!
See that table right there? See all that fuzzy tops, or frilly? I should say frilly tops. That's all asparagus. Now, I am ashamed to admit that even a West Michigan man, I don't fully understand how to grow asparagus. I wish I did. Maybe I should look at that more. I got Sam Kotner's book, the Great Texas Gardening Book.
Yeah, that's one of those that I always recommend.
But anyway, do you know how to grow asparagus?
Yeah, asparagus is wonderful.
Yeah, but how do
once you
grow
get
it?
to the point where it's producing,
it takes a while, right?
Yeah,
right.
Couple of years. Or
a couple of years.
Growing season,
right.
Yes. But, gosh, and then some of the new varieties, if you get access to them.
Right. Well, we have. I know Trace always gets the best varieties, and we have Green Magic broccoli out there, and
that's good.
Snow Mountain.
Have we still got some of the lettuce?
Yes,
Crawford.
We still got maybe a couple flats. So it's going fast, but we have different kinds of lettuce out there.
Yeah, what do we got?
We got curly top, we got red top, we got Swiss chard. Running through, I didn't see if we had any collards, but I think we do.
Well, we mentioned in the article in the vegetable garden, if you had the sweet peas,
right,
and the English peas were really growing well. But they mostly got nailed.
Oh.
But still time to plant them.
There you go. That's the key feature. You can grow those peas very quickly.
Can we thank Bart? Mm-hmm. Can we thank Bart?
Oh,
yes.
Gosh, yeah.
Hey, Bart, thank you so much. That was great. Bart gave us a little gift of you think it's a Laura Bush petunia? Yeah. Which I absolutely love. They're tough as nails. They're beautiful. So yeah, I got to figure out where I'm going to put it, where I can showcase it. But yeah, that is so nice. Thank you, man. Mark got one. And
it is a little bit like the Crawford lettuce because it does reseed.
Yeah, that was the cool thing. The very first time I got it, gosh, this would have been in the early part of the century.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was that? Oh, I was going to say around the aughts, 10.
Yeah, I would say that could have been aughts, 10, okay. 12. But so I planted it. It grew, loved it. But then there was a little gap. We had a pier and beam house, just like you have one. So there's dirt under there. There's soil. So all of a sudden, there's a gap between, just a smidgen of a gap between the patio and the house. And underneath the house is the soil. And all of a sudden, all these VIP or Laura Bush petunias come popping up, running. And at that point, I just said, okay, this is a great plant.
Now, I don't know what color Bart provided you guys, but they have his seedlings include 3 different flower colors, including that dark purple.
The dark purple's
I was going to
say,
I remember the dark
like
purple, and that was the one I like, or a multicolored, different, darker throat or lighter, something like that. I remember that one. And I think there was a pink.
Yeah, I think there was a pink.
I'm sorry.
Was there a pink colored one?
Pink?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to think the pink and the purple, and then maybe a variation of the purple. At least 3 of those kinds. But he gave us those that weren't necessarily blooming, so we'll have an adventure to see which ones we end up with.
Yep. Thank you, Bart. That's very nice of you.
All right. Can I throw something in?
Something under the bus?
Yeah. No.
Oh, okay.
If you want to see how to really grow plants in containers, may I suggest looking at the Gardening Volunteers of South Texas?
I'm going to go now.
Video. It's probably on YouTube, so you'd have to go to YouTube, Gardening Volunteers of South Texas. Container gardening or Bart or something to that effect.
Okay.
And then you'd be able to see it because we did a little video with Bart and his wonderful collection of plants in containers. And he swears to Calvin and I that he gets better production from his containers than in the ground.
That's interesting. Well, Bart's after my own heart here. Bart needs to tell me what kind of planter to put it in then, because I was thinking I'd do a planter rather than in the soil as a thing, and I've got a couple
to get that kind of performance. Though it requires the management because he uses a limited number of plants, and he has a clear idea of what. What he and his wife will cook and use those vegetables for, or the flowers, and of course he does does a good job with the Crawford lettuce and lots of other plants.
Apparently,
and we've discussed it in the past. Some of the techniques he uses.
Yeah,
and we can probably could do that in the future. Well, he generally volunteers for the. He'll be at the potting up tomato classes.
Oh yeah.
Oh good.
And also,
so he'll be at the Dreamland.
Both of them, or just?
He'll also be at the butterfly and milkweed classes.
Oh yeah.
But just Dreamland, or both Milbergers and?
Yes, he's
good.
Steady to attend both of them.
Oh, he's kind of volunteering to help.
Oh yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah, he has for a number of years.
I look forward to seeing him. That'll be great. But thank you again, sir. That made my day. All right, 210-308-8867 is our number, 210-308-8867. And I'm trying to think of what else last week brought. We were so tied in with the cold the week, last weekend, that it's like this week was kind of boring. But I imagine people are kind of getting, like we're talking about gardening hormones, people are getting a little antsy to get out there and start planting and gardening. And I'm gonna get a I've been reading lots of books, which I can do because I went to the University of Texas.
They had pictures in too.
Yeah,
no, there were no pictures, but actually there may have been a couple pictures. But one of the articles I was reading was talking about the benefits of gardening, and you'll have to tell me if we have an expert to this, on mental health as a relaxation device, except with that tomato thing that we talked about. Don't get upset. But yeah, it's a way to kind of almost meditative for someone. So yeah, we need to find out more about that. I'm curious.
Well, and that issue is really covered in some of those research projects with young people in schools too, including the one we did. Gosh, I don't know how many years ago that was, Mark, but God, it must have been 20 years. But the kids that had the access to the class, to the gardens in the classroom, did better in the class and the grades, and then other research results have indicated that they were more satisfied with their life in the future and more content with it.
Well, and we kind of kidded about it last week. I'm interested in the kids. Who doesn't love the kids? But I'm also interested in the people that are a little older than the kids, and the and how it helps them.
Yeah, it's good.
I think actually, if I have gotten this correct, I think I read somewhere that like stress is of epidemic levels or something. Did I see a headline that? And so if you can find something that's relaxing that you like, I mean, people who garden it is not uncommon for you to go, I was talking to this gardener, they're in their 90s and they're doing this, and it's like, wow.
One of the most obvious advantages was in the youngsters that were new to an area and new to a society, refugees. And it was hard. The schools were always trying to get the parents to participate and feel comfortable coming and trying to, help the kids be successful at the school. And when they started the gardening programs, it always seemed like parents found reasons why they were uncomfortable getting involved in the school, but it was almost impossible for them to resist the gardening.
Yeah,
they understood gardening, they loved it, and so they were drawn to that. And the next step was they got, well, if that's part of this school, I can be part of this school.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So
I guess it's kind of a universal hobby, universal language, but it's cool. So anyway.
No, but Calvin's right. It's a lot of refugee places, community places, often use horticulture, agriculture as part of their assimilation process.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be some of the vegetables or other things like that. It could be indoor plants, and actually that'd be kind of cool. I bet that if you do indoor plants and make that part of the family dynamic, that would help too. So yeah, I'll find somebody. We'll find somebody to talk about the mental health aspect of.
So it's broadly covered under the topic of horticultural therapy.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Oh, was it the folks at the Men's Garden?
Yeah, so
they were talking about veterans and things like that.
Yes, and at I forget the acronym, but Fort Sam Houston.
Okay.
They have an area dedicated to horticultural therapy, getting veterans and those disabled servicemen and women.
That'd be nice to talk about too. Okay. Anyway, we got to take a quick break. While we do, if you are knowledgeable of either one of those two subjects, you call us at 210-308-8867. If you want to know about what happened to your plants, or you just have a question about what to be doing right now, February 1, we're in February officially, 210-308-8867. Let's help you.
Potato time.
I was going to say, a tease. You know what that means.
What? Oh, yes. But we're going to talk about taters right after this on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. And welcome back to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas. Got a couple folks on the line, so we go to Jim first with his variegated cactus question. Hi, Jim. Welcome to Milberger's Gardening.
Hi, how are y'all doing? Y'all got a great show, and I listen every weekend. Hey, I've got a couple of very variegated cactuses that I get in these shows, and I'm just wondering, I'm keeping them in the house. Do you think it's enough time to let them outside for a while?
Yeah, I got a funny feeling it's these things that look like aloes. They have a yellow strip down the middle, or
That's
or
exactly
reverse.
right.
Okay.
I don't know the genius,
Yeah, and I don't either. That's why I'm going aloe-like. Yeah. Generally, these types of plants. What is this again? Not all cactus are succulents.
Oh, okay.
Succulents.
Yeah,
Succulents. That's the word I'm looking for.
Right. And I understand the water absorption and the heat to sun ratio and all that.
Yeah. Usually succulents are pretty good. And the reason I said aloe-like or aloe, aloes do not like cold temperatures.
Yes.
That is a strong no-no for them.
That is a good point.
I don't know what these are.
Having around, yeah.
I don't know which one it is. I know which one you're talking about because I always go, "Ooh, look at that." I've
been raising them for years, and I protect them like my, firstborn. And I'm like, this year's kind of tricked me up a little bit because I live up here in the hill country in the lower Tarpley, Texas area, and my goodness, we've gotten some really cold temps up here.
Yeah. So I think anytime it's above 48, you're okay. I'll just make a general rule right with that.
Can I ask you one quick question?
Sure.
Pomegranate. I have a pomegranate tree that I bought in an unknown area, and this sucker is like putting fruit out in between a hardball and a grapefruit, and the fruit is beautiful. It's like probably 12 foot tall and bushy. I need to trim those lower limbs. When would be a good time to do that? Now or?
When do you want to do the pomegranate, Calvin?
Well, we generally do it, now during the wintertime. And the pruning is quite, that's one of those that we prune at the base.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what my problem is, Calvin, absolutely. The base is growing out. I mean, it's proliferated just tremendously.
A lot of folks will do a fifth of the stems every year.
Yeah, I know you guys talk about how pomegranate does in San Antonio. I don't think people really realize it. I grew up with it in San Antonio when I lived there. And my gosh, we always had pomegranate trees around the house. And it froze down a little bit, but it always came back. And this one here is just magnificent. Okay,
that's why I go, how do I identify pomegranate up and down the street? I go, the one that has all the shoots coming from the base.
You don't remember what selection that was, what variety?
Yeah, what variety do you know?
I do not, but Kellen, it's like, holy cow, I'm looking at it, and I actually planted it in a little atrium by my pool, and it's like, it's probably 14 foot tall and just bushy, and it produces every year. Even whether I water it or not, I mean, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I would go ahead and do that, start that process, and I would do it now, I think. And
okay, I'll do it this weekend, and I'm gonna do the lower limbs because the lower limbs are going out, and I've got other stuff I'm gonna try to get going.
Keep in mind that quite often the commercial recommended pruning for commercial is to take out a portion of the stems, like a fifth of the 5 or a fifth of the stems that are come from the base.
My goodness, I'm looking at it, and I probably got 12 stems.
Okay.
I was going to say you probably even have 20. I don't know. So,
large diameter.
Okie dokie.
In other words,
look, I appreciate you guys, and thank you. We listened all weekend, and
thank you, Jim.
Thanks for letting me call in.
Thanks, man. You take care. Glad you like us. All right, and bring us a pomegranate. 210-308-8867. I can juice it.
Oh yeah, and
those seeds are Seeds are great.
And it's wonderful if you. It's not easy to get one that is consistently productive.
Right.
All right.
That's what I was really hoping you remembered.
Yeah, it's not. It definitely was not wonderful, I would bet.
We have James on the line at 210-308-8867. Hey there, James. Welcome to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas. What's going on today, buddy?
Well, as a follow-up to that one, because I picked up actually one as a door prize at a garden club meeting, oh my goodness, probably 7 or 8 years ago now, a pomegranate, and I remember the name because I looked it up and read about it quite a bit, Purple Heart. Now, when I got it in a small 1-gallon container, I stepped it up for 2 or 3 years, and it always had 1 or 2 fruit each season, albeit they were small, and I did sample it. I do like pomegranate because I'd never eaten one before. But about 2-3 years ago, I finally put it in the ground, and it has taken off, and it's put on growth. But it flowers in the spring, but it doesn't set fruit. So any tips on trying to get it to fruit now that it's in the ground?
Well, both Mark and I are. It reminds us of what we normally see with the pomegranates. The variety Wonderful is the one that has been commercially used for, and it's pretty productive in California, but it's never been very productive here in Texas, as far as I can tell. But there are so many different selections.
So there's also a couple of selections that are purely ornamental. So you always got to make sure you got one of the producing ones. And then, just like Calvin said, many of these selections don't produce here in Texas. They may produce in California, Southern California, where most of them are grown. Most pomegranates are grown. But here in Texas, we have a very hard time.
Okay, well, that could explain it, because the guy that I read about who developed several of these, and this one's Purple Heart, he did his work he is in California, so maybe that is the...
I don't recognize that one.
That one I don't recognize. So I was kind of hoping you said I have a bunch of fruit, because I don't recognize that one, and I would love to find a pomegranate that produces on a regular basis.
But James, don't move too fast on it, because the last few years, or the last 3 years, were not good pomegranate years. Those late freezes.
The weather's been crazy. Yes. So I'm going to let it go, if nothing else, for the flowers, because it has pretty flowers on it.
Yeah. So the one other thing is what we found out in a lot of plants is, if you treat them a bit harshly, they do better. I'm thinking of bougainvilleas is a classic example. You don't water them, you don't fertilize them, and they love it. And so try that a little bit with your pomegranates. See that you reduce the water, reduce the fertilization, if any, and see what happens.
And then
actually, I haven't fertilized, and I won't. I'm just going to withdraw everything this year unless it's really, really dry. I'll give it just enough to keep it alive, water.
All right. Well, keep us informed.
Yeah, I'd like to hear about it.
Okay, what I really called about, I pulled out my Meyer lemon out of the workshop again this morning. We're going to have a little warm stretch here. It's still got about 4 big fruit on it, and they've been great. It's almost in full bloom again since it's been indoors where it's warm. So it's going to be in the sunlight for, I guess, about a week at least. Should I fertilize it since it's going to bloom now, or when should I fertilize it? It's in a 30-gallon container.
Well, I always kind of think of the February as the good time to fertilize it. You don't want to over-fertilize, though, on especially if it's doing pretty well. Especially, and if you got fruit and you got blooms. So we generally try to fertilize them before that starts. So, but it generally is in the 1st of February.
Yeah.
But with your indoor experience there, the timing's a little off. Give it a little bit of fertilizer, but I wouldn't go overboard.
I'm going to sprinkle some Osmocote Plus around the surface. I just don't know how much. How much would you think on a 30-gallon container? That little scoop that comes in it, I guess it's a tablespoon. I'm not sure.
It's in a container?
30-gallon container. It's a mature tree. I've had it for a long time.
I just use 3 or 4 tablespoons of Osmocote.
Yeah. And I'd use less.
Less, okay. How about 3? Yeah. I'm going to put 3 and sprinkle it around there and water it in real good. It hasn't had a drink about a week. All right, thank you.
Thank you, James.
Bye, James.
Take care. All right, we're going to get ready to take a break and get you caught up with the news in a second. So some of the things that we'll talk about, we always want your calls, 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. Don't forget the blood drive going on today here at Millburgers right now, so you can come out and give blood. When you come back, we're going to talk about potatoes, and we're going to talk about Calvin's classes a little bit more. So keep it tuned right here, and you can call us with your questions at 210-308-8867. This is Millburgers Gardening, South Texas. We're live here at Millburgers at 1604 on Boulevardy Road, and you're listening to 9:30 a.m. This is The Answer.
We're back with Millburgers Gardening, South Texas, live from Millburgers Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Boulevardy Road. Come out to visit or call us at 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. And now back to Millburgers Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
And welcome back to Millburgers Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Do you want to give that news and then also kind of promote the thing, or you want to wait?
No, that's all right. Milton is talking about I went to check to see how the sign-up was going for the class.
At Millburgers.
Millburgers. That's on the 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
And we've already got 29 people signed up for that class. We've got room for about 6 more to receive one of the free rodeo tomatoes, potted up rodeo tomatoes. More people can attend, but potentially we would not have a tomato for any more than that. But come to the lecture, even if
yeah,
and there's a good chance we'll find a container plant. But
so we have so there's still openings, and you could call now at 210-497-3760, 210-497-3760, and then
it's the class 2 weeks from now, the 15th.
Mm-hmm.
That class has got 15 people signed up, and so we got room for about another 20 there. So consider that class. That's over there at the Dream Hill Estates Education Center over by the Medical Center, and that's at 9:30 in the morning on the 15th. And it'll be basically the same lecture, and the attendees, if they register, will receive a free potted up tomato, and we'll also be able to give them some Oscar okra,
mm-hmm.
and we'll talk about potatoes and lots of the other vegetables in addition to the tomatoes. If you want to, I was going to say I guess that was the article last week, was it, or that we had talked about the potting up tomatoes and the complexities of it, or is that? Do you remember, Mark, what our article was last week?
Last week I was remembering that the Express News had all the dates in nice bold type. Actually, then I found out you had done that. But
so we'll be talking about the potting up tomatoes on the class next week then. And this class today, we're talking about the freeze damage on the flowers and the vegetables. And then we'll talk a little bit more about the potatoes. But if you want to sign up for the class at Dream Hill Estates, it's 210-382-4455. 210-382-4455. And you can go ahead and sign up for yourself, and you can sign up for more than one person.
Oh,
if
good.
You're interested, yeah. Any questions? Anything you can think of that I need to add to
No,
that?
I like that last statement is that you can sign somebody else up as well.
Yeah, that was new.
That'd be good. Yeah.
That's good. So
and don't hesitate to bring some young people
yeah,
to the class. They seem to enjoy it, and they learn a lot, and they add a lot to the class too.
So if you didn't get those numbers, Dream Hill is 15th on. The number to call is
210-382-4455.
Millburgers is February
22,
and that number is 210-497-3760. All right, 210-3, and Al has them back at the station, so you can call 210-308-8867. We'll help you with your gardening issues. And, and then we'll also, if you just want to know, hey, what's that number again? Milton gave it, but I was driving. I didn't get it. Al has it right back there at 210-308-8867. All righty.
Don't call me now because Milton gets irritated when I...
No, I just get irritated when you take the call like literally on the air and we can hear it. Other than that, you're fine. Okay, because we got Mark. Mark can pick up the slack.
Yeah, but this is great.
If Mark gets calls too, then we're really in trouble.
This is great because I can't hear it out of my left ear, so I ignore Calvin.
Okay.
But it really bothered you because your hearing is perfect.
Well, I'm hearing Calvin.
Yeah.
I'm hearing both me and Calvin, so it's okay. Give him a call. Anyway, 210-308-8867 is our number. Yes, sir.
Well, I was Mark has a really interesting question that came from a
thank you.
a gardener identifying a distinctive piece of a trunk.
What now? This customer just says customer Mark, and so we don't know who it is, but we thank him for this question. Or her, could be a her. It says, what type of tree is this? It has sweet smell, and I'm assuming talking about the flowers on that. And I'm imagining, Mark can call us back on this, but I'm imagining it's an orangey yellow flower, round golf ball size, orangey yellow, or marble size rather. Orangey yellow flower in spring, because the bark looks like a weesatch.
Well, the wood is really dense.
Yeah, and it's dense and it's red, and this is usually a characteristic of acacias.
Now we
acacia family.
Where we talk about the thorns on the weesatch, but we wouldn't see that on the trunk, huh?
No, not necessarily. And that's what I was looking for. But what I'm seeing is a platy bark that has a reddish tinge, and the inner bark is a little orangey red. And so that's kind of a characteristic of the weesatch, and that's what I'm basing that on.
That's kind of a tree that a lot of us people debate about. I like them because they're great for wildlife. They the bloom, and of course the bee. People that raise bees love them because they're a good pollinator, those early blooms. But they can be a problem in your landscaping. Nothing worse than be riding your lawnmower or pushing it and getting nailed by a weesatch branch.
Okay.
Do you know, you ever heard of PTSD?
Yes.
Yeah, I have thorns SD.
Oh.
So I have scars across my arms, across my body. Just recently I had 6 weeks worth of thorns, slivers in my fingers, which is quite debilitating. Not enjoyable at all.
You know, they do make a nice shape. The crown is kind of a nice shape and very dense.
It is a beautiful tree to grow certain grasses underneath because it's light enough, provides light enough shade so it doesn't impact the grass, and then you don't have to water certain grasses as much because the tree doesn't tolerate. It doesn't tolerate a lot of water. So you just reduce the amount of water and grow. I'm thinking of Bermudas and some zoysias. So it's quite lovely.
It's a cool looking wood.
Yeah.
It's got that sort of reddish brown.
It's
like
heavy and
color.
Reddish.
How old do you think it is? Can you count the rings?
Oh, but it is pretty old because
I can't throw this at you.
Don't throw it at me.
I can reach you.
I don't know.
Yeah, they don't get much larger than that.
Oh, is that right?
No. It's the largest one I ever saw was in San Antonio in the Northwoods area, and we just recently pruned it to correct some of the freeze damage. Yes, it is sensitive to freezes. We're about at the northern extreme. We're about here right here in 1604.
Oh, it's about
Bulverde.
the northern.
We are on the northern extreme.
Now, what? I guess it produces pods.
Yeah, so even though the flower is a marble-shaped ball, the pods are actually kind of flat. So it's interesting that's what they produce.
And some of the birds like it, but I guess it's more of a mammal food.
It is. That attraction is attracting insects. I don't know bats, but attracting mostly insects and a few butterflies. I do not know about hummingbirds. So it's mostly butterflies and beetles that are attracted to that sweet odor.
Yeah,
and it is a very distinct sweet aroma.
And the birds like to nest in it for
Yes.
sure.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, because it's dense. Like I said, it's not a heavy foliage, so they can see out, but it has all these thorns and stiff branches, so that it makes a nice shelter.
There's with all the thorns and branches, there's not a lot of things that like to climb up in it.
That's true. So they can escape from predators and okay.
They can see and provide protection.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, but the whole point of this whole story,
the whole point
is give us a call, and we can answer. Just
Yeah.
like the gentleman right before, I knew exactly what type of succulent he had, or come up to the table here. Oh, I'm sorry, the porch.
Yeah, to come up to the porch
and
we're
try
sitting
to
up here
answer
at
your question.
Milberger's. Yeah, and sometimes that helps. Maybe if you bring a picture and stuff, it's easier with a picture than it is to describe it. But that's okay. Either way, we'll try. So 210-308-8867, or you can bring a cutting. 210-308-8867.
Now that was a cutting. Now that was not an easy cutting to make.
No, that was not.
I can imagine that 25-foot tree above that.
Feel the weight of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty dense and pretty
Yeah,
heavy.
it is pretty dense. You can feel that. It doesn't give very much. No. Cool. All right. 210-308-8867. Speaking of giving, maybe you'd like to give the gift of potatoes. That was a poor segue.
No. The blood drive. Then we can go to
actually,
potatoes.
there you go. That would be good. Yes.
Because
you could
to help your blood regenerate, you have to have potatoes.
Very good,
So
Mark.
that's your segue.
Okay.
Milton. Okay.
Speaking of giving, yes, you can come out here and give blood today to your South Texas neighbors here at Milberger's. It's, I think, today till 3 o'clock. But, yeah, they'll just take you in. You just come on in and sign up and go. And, then you can use that $10 gift certificate that Milberger's will give you for kind of going through the process to maybe get some potatoes.
5 pounds worth you can get with the $10 gift certificate. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
$1.95 a pound.
It is February 1st. February 1st is seed
That's
potato.
right.
Seed potato time.
But the real thing that I like about the potatoes this year, the seed potatoes, these are obviously came from a sack of seed potatoes, and they're not pre-packaged into small containers. These are, you pick the ones you want out of the big sack, and there's
out of a sack. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there's Pontiacs and Lesotas for the red, and then there's what are the white ones? Mark, do you remember?
I don't know, Kidderbank. I think another Pontiac. There's a Pontiac white.
Yeah, the Pontiacs are red too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But anyhow, you can pick and choose the ones you want. And say some people like the smaller tennis ball size or the golf ball size, and others like me, I like the larger ones, and then I cut them up into pieces so that each have a eye or two, and then plant them in a trench.
There you go. You want 2 eyes, and eyes are if you were a kid, you go, Mom, I don't like that. Those are little roots coming out of those.
Oh, okay.
That's the eyes.
That's
and
right.
So you want to make sure you get 2 of those, and then use that as your seed potato.
Well, we'll revisit that in a second because we got Kathy on the line with a lemon tree question at 210-308-8867. Y'all talk to Kathy. I'm going to go check something out.
All right, Kathy,
welcome
what's
to
up?
Milberger's Gardening, South Texas.
Are you there?
Kathy, you go. Oh, Kathy. Call us back, Kathy. Let's see if we can't help you.
Yeah, Milton has to go to the restroom.
No, I don't know where I'm going. Okay, y'all talk to her yourselves. Okay.
Is it Kathy? Are you there?
No, she's not there.
Oh, she's not there? Oh, we talk among ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, we're talking about potatoes, and the normal way to plant them is the way I recommended. You dig a trench, a foot deep if you can.
And how long? 8 foot?
Well, yeah, an 8-foot roll, but then you can plant at least three plants on an 8-foot roll. And I keep putting more space in between my plants because I don't like when I'm digging up one, I don't like to chop up the potatoes of the other ones. But you can you start harvesting when the plants start blooming, and then that's the first new potatoes that you get, and then you get all the rest of them harvested when the tops decline.
Right.
When they start
going
brown.
And it's easy because I like that when the tops turn brown. Also, in the onions when all the tops fall over. So it's like, oh, this is really easy on how to learn how to harvest all these. Now
we don't do as much storage as they do in Minnesota or Idaho, but we generally use them, get a fairly good production, and then we use them basically as new potatoes, and they're very, very good, and they're a lot of fun to grow. If you have trouble, or you don't have a lot of soil, or your raised bed is not very deep, then you can do mounding. But we had a discussion and put some detail about the mounding. You want that the plants emerge. You got the trench, and then you put the soil on top of the potatoes with the eyes, and then when the plants emerge, then you put more soil on top. You just got to keep adding it until you got a foot over the top usually. Right. But you don't want to wait too long before you add that soil, or you don't get a lot of production in those upper areas. But it's fun to watch and easy to grow. And I always have better luck with the reds than the white potatoes. But they both are available, and of course here at Milberger's, and they're good. They're nice looking seed potatoes.
And I enjoy the reds better. It's amazing as you grow up, your tastes change from the potatoes. That's not normal, Mom. I'm not going to eat those red ones. To I enjoy the red ones.
Yeah,
much better.
Can we do something like the Yukon Gold? Can we grow something like that? Because that's good too. I didn't used to like those when you told the story.
Yeah, what is that? Just a yellow potato?
Yeah, it's just a yellow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you can do that. We can do that. And
so now is the time. Our magic date is always October 1st. I mean,
February 1st.
February 1st.
Yeah.
Only 6 months off or so.
Yeah, that's okay. All right, let's take a quick break. Kathy, while we do, I want you to call us back so we can answer your lemon tree question at 210-308-8867.
Milton's back, so you can talk to...
I'm back. 210-308-8867. More in a moment with Milberger's Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. And welcome back to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Give us a call. Be a part of the show today at 210-308-8867. 308-8867. Again, a beautiful day here at Millburgers. Lots of folks out here shopping, enjoying all the color.
Giving blood,
and enjoying the color. Just
signing up for the tomato class.
Mm-hmm. And then you were talking about it. Do we maybe not want to confuse people, or are you comfortable talking about when we're going to do the milkweed things again?
Yeah, we're going to, as usual, we're going to do a series of milkweed and butterfly classes. We're trying to learn more about growing milkweeds. They're not easy to grow, despite the fact that once they're established, they're a very strong weed. But and of course, they're so important because they are the only kind of plant that the monarchs will lay their eggs on. So we're trying to figure out what's the easiest way for local gardeners, especially in the San Antonio area, to grow milkweed, because this is kind of a channel that those monarchs that are migrating to the Mexico use through New Braunfels and San Antonio, and the gardeners in this area are really interested in helping them out. So anyhow, we have 6 native milkweeds that we're working with, and we have scheduled a class here in March. We have a class here at the Millburgers, and we also have a class at the Dream Hill Estates Education Center in March, and then we have a class in New Braunfels in April 5th, and a class in at the
Sinkin Eco Central.
Yeah, Eco Central, and that's on the 19th. You know, do you realize that's on the Easter weekend?
Oh my goodness!
I didn't.
Yeah. So anyhow, those classes. Last week we had the information about when those classes were scheduled. We'll also have them. We'll probably have the dates next week as well. You can start registering, but that is in March and in April. 4 different classes, and again, in addition to a great discussion and a review of what we've learned and what we need to questions we need to try to answer. Everybody that attends that's interested will get access to 2 milkweed plants, 2 different plants, seeded plants. Some of them may not be germinated yet, but most of them will be. And so we'll want you to plant them and tell us how they transplant, and we want you to tell us how the monarchs react to them. And so hopefully we'll see a great response this spring. But anyhow, the volunteers and I are busy planting the milkweeds for the handouts, and we've got 8 flats planted so far, and we got another 8 flats we'll have to get planted, and hopefully we'll have that all ready for March and April.
Good, yeah. And actually, the funny thing was, I can remember when we started talking about the tomato potting up in early January, and it was like, it's so far off. And now it's like 2 weeks away.
I was going to say.
So March is not that far off.
That's right, and we're as every year on the rodeo tomatoes, we're holding our breath and hoping we're going to get the rodeo tomatoes available in plenty of time to have them ready for the handout in the classes. Yeah. The good news is that we've got access to a lot of the past rodeo tomatoes. If our target date is to get the Millburgers is to get the rodeo tomatoes, the new one this year, delivered on the 9th of February.
Oh, good.
But we've already have some of the wonderful varieties here at Millburgers.
Have stood the test of time.
Folks are interested, yeah.
Kathy is back on the line. She's got a lemon tree question at 210-308-8867. Welcome back, Kathy. What's going on?
Hi, thank you. I got disconnected.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. No problem.
Oh.
I want to find out.
Turn my mic on.
I have a lemon tree in a big pot that's facing my sunny window, and it's blooming like crazy, and I did not get to cross-pollinate it yet, and I need to do that. So I didn't know if you had any...
Oh, one more time, Kathy. Oh,
Yeah.
do you have an answer for her?
No. Say it again because I don't think Calvin heard all that.
Okay, one more time there, Kathy.
I have a lemon tree in a big pot that faces my sunny window, and it started to bloom like crazy, and I don't know if it's too late to cross-pollinate it, is the question, if it's too late.
Does she need to cross-pollinate it? Why?
Milton, you hit the nail on the head.
Why do you want to cross-pollinate it?
Well, I didn't know lemon trees pollinate by themselves. I thought we have to do that.
No.
No, they're pretty.
They are a perfect flower.
They're
Perfect.
resilient? Okay.
Yeah, they have both the male and female parts.
Okay, that's a good answer.
Now, what would you suggest to enhance pollination?
Is it? Did I hear it right? It was inside the house.
No, I think it's outside, but faces a sunny. Or is it inside?
No, it's inside because I don't have.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay, but it's in the sun all the time.
Yeah, it's a little easier when it's outside, but I think you're going to be okay. Have you done this in the past? Past years?
I have. I did. I got one lemon from it.
Yeah.
But
How
this
big is
year
the
it's
plant?
blooming.
How big is the plant?
It's about 4.5 feet tall.
Oh wow. Yeah, you should get.
I think you should take it outside because I think the bees need to help.
You do.
Do you have a patio?
You don't have a patio or a porch or anything, huh?
I have a patio, but it doesn't stay sunny all day.
Is it so heavy that it's could you do could it be convenient for you to take it out and leave it for 4 hours during a weekend or each weekend or during the week? I mean, I think Mark's right. The more you could let it be outside, the more likely you're going to get some more germination. I mean more pollination. But I think you would also get some response even if it's in the house.
It's real heavy for me.
Yeah.
And I live alone, but it's blooming. It's got white blooms all over it. They're coming out.
It's got what?
White blooms
White
coming out
blooms.
all over it.
Well, you could explore the what's a good publication, Mark, that would give her information about pollinating lemons and
Well, I think a lot of the A&M publications are very good. There's one that's called Home Fruit or Growing Fruit on the Patio, something to that. It has both growing fruit and patio in the name.
I was just wondering if there was something that talked about whether you could artificially pollinate, or if there's any advantage.
I think a lot of those A&M home gardener pamphlets, bulletins have that information on there. So
you probably even your phone or the computer.
Yeah. Like I say, just put it in. That's the best way. I'd say just put in gardening or a fruit and patio and see what comes up.
Pollinating lemons inside or something too.
Yeah, that would be a good one. I'm going to Google that just for grins.
But then I would probably say, put in AgriLife too. See what happens.
AgriLife?
AgriLife. That's the A&M
That's with
Extension
A&M?
Service. Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes
So I
it
don't
works,
have to,
and sometimes it works. Sometimes you got to put extension in. Sometimes you just put AgriLife. I have not figured it out in 41 years how to do it to get the right answer. I have to play around a lot.
I did type in, and I'll let you do this, Kathy, too, in Google, how to pollinating indoor lemon tree, and it says, to pollinate indoor lemon tree, y'all can tell me whether you agree with this. You can manually transfer pollen from the stamen to the stigma of the flower using a paintbrush or cotton swab.
Cool.
This is called hand pollination, and then it gives steps on how to do that.
Right.
That's
what I did before.
And then you don't have to. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just do as much as you're comfortable with, and that'll add to the.
Does she need to make noise like she's a bee?
Oh, that always helps. That always.
Okay, Kathy.
Yeah.
You just kind of hum and buzz, and that'll probably help. It's not a scientifically proven method, but so Kathy, I'm kind of curious. Did you buy this lemon tree at a nursery or garden center, or did you grow this yourself?
No, I bought it a couple years
cool.
ago, and then I was in the hospital with COVID,
no.
and then it started blooming after I got out.
Oh,
So,
celebrating your escape from the hospital.
It's my little miracle plant.
Now, this is interesting. Other tips include lightly tapping or shaking the tree to move pollen around.
That was always my thing.
Okay, so that's easier than the other stuff. Did you get that, Kathy?
But
Just
I thought
shake
the
it.
blooms will if I shake it, the blooms will fall off, right?
Well, you don't have to shake it real hard.
Shake it. You just tap it.
Just like a light breeze might do.
Oh,
So
okay.
that you're just trying to get the.
Yeah.
pollen.
Ooh, there's a video too.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it allowed?
Is it what?
Is it allowed? It's talking about pollination here.
Yeah, it's you can watch this video to learn more about how to pollinate indoor citrus.
Now, don't be giggling and encouraging Mark.
Yeah, don't encourage Mark, please, Kathy.
Okay. No
My mother
encouragement.
used to say.
Will you
"Don't
tell us
encourage
what happens? Will you kind of keep us informed?
Yes,
Yeah.
I will, because I did it once already, not this year, but last time it bloomed. And I don't need to fertilize it, do I, since it's getting some
No.
water?
Well, we had a question on that with James, and
Yeah.
we kind of said lightly fertilize, and then wait to see if the fruit comes on, and then fertilize it again.
Yeah, just give if you got some Osmocote or if you got some one of the container fertilizers.
The Miracle Grow or something.
Yeah,
like
that's
that,
a good
and,
one.
Mix it up.
And don't over fertilize it.
So I created a term. I was looking back at some of my articles, and I created a term, weekly. So you take and mix the Miracle Grow according to directions, and then you take a quarter of that mix, and then use that. So you can water or fertilize, but it's extremely weak fertilization.
So
Or
just tap
Osmocote,
what you're-
or a couple
Okay.
a couple tablespoons of Osmocote, one or the other.
Okay. All right.
Sounds
Thank
good.
You guys.
Good luck,
Thank you, Kathy. Thanks for the call.
Take
All
it
right.
easy. Bye.
210-308-8867, 210-308-8867, the number to call, just like Kathy did. We'd love to hear from you. And I never didn't get an answer from you guys. You know, I put the coffee grounds around my rows on Sunday, as you all suggested. And then I noticed when I went back in the house, I went back in the house, came back out again. I noticed the tree was kind of shaking.
Yeah.
Do you think it was over-caffeinated?
Yes, it probably was.
Probably. Now let's see. Is Mark shaking like the tree was? Or
No, it's like, okay, let's see.
No, I had two.
You see how those flowers are shaking back and forth? I don't know what's causing it, because it's not coffee, I don't guess. But, yeah, it was just like that.
You don't suppose it's that flag that's about the wind that's going on?
The flags
I don't
are
know.
up.
I was scared. I thought, it's had too much coffee. Trace helped me out. He said, just don't give it any cream. It'll be fine. Okay.
Or I would have given it cream.
Oh, you think that would have cut the caffeine a little bit? Oh, dear. All right, 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. Calvin, do us a favor. We got a little break in the action before we have to go to a break. So talk again about the tomato class and give the phone numbers again.
Okay, we've got 2 tomato classes scheduled. The first one is the 15th, which is 2 Saturdays from now, 2 weeks. It's at 9:30 in the morning at the Dream Hill Estates Education Center. That's over in Medical Center, 6802 Dorothy Louise Drive. That information's in the Express News, or you can get it by calling 210-382-4455. And the classes will cover potting up tomatoes to take advantage of the rodeo tomato that has just been identified, and getting it into a strong growth rate prior to the time when the ground warms up and the air warms up enough to plant it. So what you're doing is potting it up, taking advantage of that time and a warm area, and then before you plant it in the garden. And we got the class. Right, it's rather a complex issue, so we've got a class scheduled, and everybody that attends, that signs up, gets a free potted up tomato. And so again, 210-382-4455. That's for this 2 weeks from now, the 15th, or if you wanted to attend the class here at Milberger's on the 22nd. That is starts at 10 a.m. And that we've got about 5 or 6 spots still open in that class. And go ahead and call
210-497-3760. 210-497-3760.
And if you, more than one of you can sign up too. Feel real comfortable signing up for your spouse or your neighbor or your fellow gardener, or some of your young people in your family too.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. While we do, give us a call. Tell us what's going on. How can we help you in your gardening experience at 210-308-8867. More of Milberger's Gardening South Texas coming up on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867. All right. What else is going on, gentlemen? I got to fix something here.
I got to
put your headphones back on. Got about just a few minutes left of the show, but what should folks be doing right now in the garden?
Planting potatoes.
Okay.
They can also
we have them here.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, it's a great selection of high quality potato seeds, and also you still got time to replant your English peas and your sweet peas, the flowers. Both of those took it on the chin with the cold weather, but get them in pretty fast, and they should do fine. And then, of course, Mark listed broccoli.
Yeah, we have wonderful transplants out here. We have broccoli. We have a whole row of asparagus. We have strawberries. We have the leafy crops like the lettuce and spinach. And I believe collards out there. I'll have to check again. Okay. But broccoli, cauliflower. We even have some Brussels sprouts, although I think it's a little early for that.
Oh, is it?
Either too late or a little early, but you always can play around with Brussels sprouts. We have opportunities. It's early February. You can get some tomato plants. We have them available, and you pot them up, or take one of Galvin's classes.
Yep.
Sign up for the class.
Blue bonnets and strawberries.
Yeah,
blue bonnets and strawberries. Oh, blue bonnets. Boy. And I was amazed this afternoon when I first came in how many blue bonnets we had out there.
They're really kind of interesting if you plant a row of them in your flower garden. How fast and dominant they become once they start growing.
Yeah, the neat thing is that, I talked about mine right before the cold. They just look yucky. They look gray and downtrodden, and I put them in the container that had the whoppers in them. And so, despite the fact, here's some of the challenges they're facing. Well, they did get rain and everything, but sometimes the cats lay on top of them.
The bluebonnets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're still looking great. They're perking up with a little bit of rain we had and stuff. They're looking good. They're like, ooh, hey, we're happy. So
yeah, they're from Texas.
Yeah,
they're tough.
They are tough.
Tough from Texas.
So I'm looking forward to it. Now I got some in the ground that aren't looking quite as happy, but I'm eager to see what will happen with them.
Yeah.
So
we're listening. We're just looking at other people.
Oh, I thought he was looking. I thought somebody was coming up on us or something. All right, 210-308-8867.
No, we're listening to you, Milton.
Do you have now? You planted blue bonnets, didn't you, Calvin?
Oh yeah, I've done it a number of years.
Yeah.
I haven't done it. I didn't do it this year, but they're kind of interesting.
Are they naturalized sufficiently so that?
No, my yard is not a great place for them. A lot of the wildflowers really do well. I mean, blue curl now this year is starting out.
Oh yeah, we love our blue curl early in the year because it's a great pollinator early in the year.
Oh, good.
Before anything else is providing nectar, the blue curl is.
Well, and what were those other wildflowers, Milton, that we had such? Oh, the bee balm.
Oh, yeah, the bee balm was terrific.
Now, that one's a later.
Right.
Yeah, but
the gaillardia and the bee balm were kind of later.
Firewheel.
Firewheel.
Now, that one's a dumb. And then, of course, my favorite, one of my favorites is, and it does really well in my yard, is Coreopsis.
Yeah.
And now the blue bonnet is not the easiest for me to grow, but the Coreopsis.
Coreopsis
comes back every year.
Always one of my favorites. One of my first favorites here in Texas when I first moved down here was Coreopsis. I was somewhat familiar with it, and
it's another one that pollinators like.
Yeah, and it has a 2-season. And in the summertime, it kind of lags off, and then it picks up again in the fall. Once you're deadhead, and it will sprout out new flowers.
Let's help Bert on the line at 210-308-8867, and then we'll see if we can't help David with the time we have left. Hey, Bert, welcome to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas. What's going on today?
Well, I heard y'all talking about potatoes, and I got where I keep them. I keep them in a cool, and I have some like the new potatoes, red potatoes, but y'all were talking about seeds, and I was cutting, since I keep them in that area, they're starting to sprout. And I was taught back in Louisiana, but we couldn't grow them because the groundwater was so high. So do you just cut the eyes off with the sprouts on them and put them, like dip it in like a rooting hormone and then put them on the top of the soil and let them grow like that?
I don't. I think with regular potatoes, it sounds like you're talking about sweet taters, but regular potatoes, you just cut a piece of the mass off that includes that root, and then you bury them.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't
even need any rooting hormone or nothing like that.
Oh no.
Some people used to callus them over a little bit, but I don't think you need to do that.
Well, the other thing is that some gardener will remind us that you don't have, on potatoes, you don't have to be too fussy. They'll grow. Trace is kind of does well in explaining, telling us about, growing them in hay bales and all that kind of stuff. So you are kind of right about that. They'll grow almost any place. But in terms of easiest production, most productive growth, you dig a trench and you bury them in the trench, and you include part of the flesh and that root.
Right. I'm tracking on that. That's why when I have my green onions, I always cut about an inch from the root and then stick them in pots, and I got green onions forever.
Yeah.
But I would say the one you were talking about, wildflowers in the spring, one of my favorites are like after the bluebonnets is I didn't know if that's the coreopsis or not. I don't have my book in front of me, but it's called Indian paintbrush.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not a coreopsis, but it is a good one.
It's a good one. Just like the firewheel, it's a common mix in the wildflowers.
Okay, and then the other one is there's this little thing that I've seen them around here when I take my walks through the fields that are just not habited, but just they're not wild too. It's called, I think I call it a hidden lily. It's a little tiny thing, comes up very white. It usually doesn't get between 6 and 8 inches only high, but it looks just like a little.
It's not the same as a rain lily, is it?
No, it's a little bit. I mean, I call them hidden lilies because they're just like you don't know that they're there. They're just wild, and they only get up, like I said, about the little. The leaf system is like a lily, and it looks like a little small, and they're all white. I saw them all over at Fort Sam when I was stationed there, and I see them all along Salado Creek when it opens up into like an area of a meadow or something like that.
All right, thanks, Bert. Hey, we need to take one more before we call it a day, okay?
All righty, y'all take care.
Thanks, Bert.
Thanks, Bert.
Hey, David, what's going on, man? 210-308-8867. You got a Bermuda grass question?
Yeah, I have a new yard's about a year old, and it's production builder, put the St. Augustine in, and they didn't roll it. And, I had to fight that, battling when I mow it. It's kind of, bumpy and it's clumpy, So this year what I'm going to do is I'm thinking it's pretty nice weather. I know it's a little early, but I thought about, kind of mowing it, a decent, kind of low, and get some soil and put it over the top and kind of rake it in and kind of level off those low spots. But my concern right now is, I don't think the Bermuda grass is going to come up. I think it's just going to bring a bunch of weeds. So I'll be fighting weeds in the springtime when the St. Augustine's growing up and the Bermuda's kind of coming up. But what do you suggest? When do I wait or what do I do?
Well, if it's not a bad idea to level off a yard, but I think I would, if it was Bermuda grass, I think I'd probably wait till about May 1st on that. Although, you can aerate and you can add a half an inch if you don't add too much soil.
Yeah.
On it, and
or compost along with that soil.
Yeah, that works well. That really works well. So that's probably not a bad idea at all.
So if I do something now, I can go ahead and put just a little quarter inch or so just on top.
Right.
Yeah.
Our good friend Neil Sperry in the paper, a reader had questioned him about that, and he didn't know. I don't know why you do it this time of year. And I'm like, oh, Neil. Yeah, do it this time of year and put that. What's our name we have for that? The soil and compost mix. We had top dressing, and we prefer a top dressing that had more organic than soil in it. And then level that off. And all those low spots, take care of that right now. This time of year would be great for that.
All righty. I'll get started.
All right. Good luck.
Good. Thanks, David. All right. 210-308-8867. Calvin, we're going to let you end the show today by talking about your upcoming tomato classes. Got about a minute and a half.
Okay. 2 weeks from now, on the 15th, we got a class at 9:30 a.m. at Dream Hill Estates over by Medical Center, 6802 Dorothy Louise Drive. It's at 9:30. Call 210-382-4455 if you want to reserve a seat. And you get everybody that does that will get a free potted up tomato. And, of course, we'll cover the other vegetables, too. But if you want to take advantage of the availability of the rodeo tomatoes right now. It's too early to plant them in the garden, but it's not too early to pot them up, and then you protect them from the cold.
Yeah.
Attend the class.
And then there's one on the 22nd here at Millburgers, and that number is 210-497-3737. 3760. And this is not a sales pitch. Call ASAP because both classes are filling up. I mean, last week was a huge jump in the number of people.
Or even in this week it was.
Yeah, this weekend too. So don't wait. Just call up and get in that.
Word to the wise is sufficient.
Yes, no cost, just fun, great learning with Calvin. All right, we're going to say goodbye for today. Thanks to Al for doing a great job, the guys for coming on, answering your questions, and as always, thank you for listening. I'm Milton Glueck. This is 9:30 a.m. The Answer.